Hey, Black Barn Social Club, God bless America. This is the comparison video that I didn't know I needed. I go into my Freedom Parlor this morning, my boot room, and I was looking for what I was going to wear today. And up until now, I hadn't put really too much thought into this head-to-head situation. I really hadn't. These White's boots, these are the White's made-to-order, what do they call it? The MP Sherman. I think, a couple of months ago, I had to actually get some help from some of you guys helping me figure out what they were, because there's not a whole lot of research that I could do on them. They didn't come with any kind of a box to me, so I didn't know what I was holding. I knew that they looked like the MP Sherman, but then I started seeing things like the pull tab, and I noticed that the printing here on the side looked more like a different boot. And so then, people started kind of giving me feedback going, that's the thing about White's, is you can get one of their made-to-order boots, and somebody probably just built this just the way they wanted it. Of course, you know how I buy a lot of my boots is secondhand. So when I got them, again, they're just, like, hey, they're White's boots. So they came in my size. They've got that really clean PNW heritage boot vibe to them, and so I jumped all over them. I've been happy with them, and I really didn't have I didn't have a competitor in mind for that boot. I didn't feel like there was overlap. It's so different in what it is that I've never felt like I never felt it was being challenged. And it hit me this morning that it is being challenged, because, for two reasons. One, this boot has a specific place in a lineup. It's not a dress boot. In fact, I'd worn this out during some nasty weather. I'd worn this boot out during some light snow, during some rain. And it always gets the looks. It's an attractive PNW boot. It's an attractive heritage boot. It's got that leather half sole. I'm going to talk about this for a little bit first, and then I'll introduce the Challenger. But when I see this boot, it's got that working boot vibe. And I remember somebody talking about it on one of the videos that I posted, or the outfit fit checks that I'd posted. Somebody they were complimenting the boot, and I said, what's cool about this boot is it's made for this kind of weather. It's made to get out there and be roughhoused. It's made to be worked. It's got the short commando lug, half leather, thicker heel, steel shank, handmade, thick stitching. It's just a good example. The MP Sherman, it's a tank, and that's why they named it that. You got the rough heel piece, just such an attractive boot. And I remember talking specifically about it. I said it's made for this kind of weather. It's made to not be afraid of what you're putting it through. So I've had this in my boot rotation for several months now, but it wasn't until today that I realized there is a challenger for this boot. And now I introduce the Challenger here, which if you've got a keen eye to it, this is the Truman boot Stone Rambler. So I also got this maybe 8 weeks ago. I've conditioned it once. It was pretty dry when I got it, and I hope I'm drawing a good contrast here, but if you can see why I would pit these two against each other. These two boots, both of them are durable, heavy leather boots. So I know for a fact that the Truman, they claim 6 ounces leather weight on their boot. I don't have the information about this boot, and I don't think their website tells you, but I can tell by feel. It's if it's not a little bit thicker, it's the same in that sense. I can look and see that the toe cap leather on the Truman is a little bit thicker than the unstructured toe of the MP Sherman. You can see that the unstructured toe here. This is a structured toe on the 79 last Truman. You can see the MP Sherman has a lower profile on that, which again is part of one of the options you could select for this, which does make it kind of makes it a little bit classier, a little bit less chunky. But chunky ain't bad. Depending on what you're talking about, chunky ain't bad. So again, very attractive boot. But I started seeing that this Stone Rambler, and as I'm reaching for the boots this morning, I realized that these two are, in my opinion, competing in the same space. If I were to go out on a drizzly, rainy, snowy, sleety day, I'm not worried about messing up these Stone Ramblers, and I'm not worried about wearing these MP Shermans. I don't know. I wish I could tell you what type of leather this is. You guys might know more than I do. This just looks like that bomber jacket. And that's all I know it to be. I mean, it's just that brown, thick, durable leather with that nappy heel. The Stone Rambler, you guys, I'm not going to go into what and who makes it. You guys know all about Truman Stone Ramblers. They make all the Coach Ramblers, all that. But again, I feel like both boots could work lightly, and maybe even heavy. Both boots could go out there and be in a nasty day. They could go out there and I wouldn't worry about what the snow was doing to them, what the water was doing to them. Both 270 degree Goodyear welted. If I'm being honest, I'm going to say that the welting is cleaner on the Trumans. You know how sometimes you can get in there and you can see where they've pulled the threads and you can see that. I think that's more prevalent on these White's boots, and I think that's part of their. I'm gonna say it's part of their charm. Is that you can see? I mean, you can absolutely see that these were handled and handmade. You can see the prints where the dyes and whatnot rolled across the leather. There's more stitching on the White's boots. So I mean, you got two rows of double stitching across the toe cap. From the quarters to the vamp, 2 rows of double stitching, 3 rows across the back here. So I want to say everywhere they could throw an extra layer of stitching, they actually threw it on this boot. As far as the hardware, this has got the what looks like nickel, almost a black nickel finish on the hardware. Maybe it's chrome. I can't really tell. I'm sorry. It's not chrome. It's got that black nickel look to it. And then you got antique bronze or whatnot. I still give. I mean, I really can't. I can't give one or the other a better. I mean, both of their hardware is the milled speed hooks. Truman's got 2, the White's boots has got 3, and then it ends up with an eye on top of that. So there's 5 eyelets, 3 speed hooks, and 1 eyelet above that against 5 and 2. As far as the height, there may be a 1/4 inch difference, higher on the shaft for this White's boots. Pull tab on the White boot. But again, why do I I mean, I think I've described enough why I think they're both rambunctious boots. They're both unafraid to go out into the elements. They're, both have, some variation of a commando sole. I don't know the last on this one. This is the 79 last. But you can tell, here's what I can tell from just tangible feel on the product, on the boot itself. The White's boot walks a little softer. Maybe that's because it's a double leather. You've got a thick midsole here, and then you've got the welt on it. So you got a really thick midsole. Then you got a little bit more heel stack, and so this one moves and walks a little softer. This one walks a little chunkier. It feels like maybe it's because it's not as broke in, but I'm not trying to speculate as to why something feels differently. I'm just trying to tell you why it feels differently or why I assume it feels differently. Here, this just walks chunkier, and I think it's got more to do with the fact that this is a one-piece sole, whereas this has the leather half sole. I can't necessarily, this does have that stitched down, aesthetic difference here. So again, there's more leather on the midsole here than here. This is a combination, but this walks a little bit softer. I mean, I just put these on in the house, just making my final decision. This walks a little softer. That said, the shape of the last. Let me compare apples to apples here, so you can try to see the same boot. The White's MP Sherman has more. In the throat or in the waist of the boot, it's got more of a scallop. Let me see if I can show it to you from this angle. It's got more of a scallop here, so it feels a little bit thinner on the instep. Plenty of room in the toe box. It's just got more of an almond toe, whereas the 79 last of the Truman boot is a little bit more rounded. You can probably see that. These are both an 11.5D. So just trying to show you, the shape and the aesthetic of this. The biggest difference I see is that this MP Sherman, it seems to get narrow in the same distance. It's a little bit longer, but not by much. But it gets narrower at that point than the rounded off 79 last. So now it boils down to me. Do I think one boot is made more rugged? I'm going to be straight up and say I do not. I think they both, from what I can tell of the materials, I think they're both the same quality materials put in both boots. They're both a PNW boot. They're both American made. They are both made, again, with the same durable materials. There's a little bit of extra stitch work on the White's boot, but I don't even think that's, once that's tooled in on the equipment, it's not really extra labor. It's just a different tool and die that they've got set up, or tool threads and bobbins, and I don't know. I'm not a seamstress or a leather worker, so but I feel like there is extra stitching here. I just don't know if that equates into extra work or extra quality. So what it comes down to for me, and the decision I have made, is to sell the MP Shermans. I'm going to sell the White's boots, and the reason I'm doing that is one reason only. These fit my feet better. I think I think this is an attractive boot in the same way that I'm drawn to a PNW boot. I think we all tend to like the heritage of it. I think we all tend to like the old rugged, the ability to say that this came from here. Well, I can say all the same things here. This one probably, and obviously, Truman hasn't been around near as long as White, so there is a lot of history with a White's boots, but again, and I did this morning without even thinking, if I'm going for a boot that I can put on that scratches this itch, which is it needs to kick a little shit. It needs to, I don't need to worry about water and mud puddles and anything like that. I just reached for that first because it fits me better. So that being said, I don't have a knock against this boot. I just feel like obviously there's a different appearance. This one's got that, I don't want to say veiny, but it's got that look that Rambler leather has. It's just got that rustic, distressed look, and this has that rustic bomber jacket feel with the addition of the nappy toe cap, the rough out, or toe cap, I'm sorry, the heel cap, that rough out heel cap. So again, strikingly handsome boot, but I'm still going to reach for this one. So my mind's been made up. You guys jump in the comments and tell me two things. One, tell me if I'm a fool. You probably got about 24 hours before I put this on eBay. So tell me if I'm a fool for getting rid of this boot. Two, tell me, did I make the right choice? Would you have sold these and kept these? Am I making the right choice here? And assuming, I know several people will chastise me and say, man, just keep both boots. You got plenty of room. You got a whole barn you can put boots in. I don't disagree. But I am currently a happily married man. And I think if the UPS man keeps bringing me boots like he is slated to bring me boots in the next couple of weeks, that could all change. So I do have to, that's the whole point of what I'm having fun doing is again, finding ways to reduce overlap and clutter, but still maintain that focus on high quality and what we're all after, that search for the next best thing. So I think right now my mind's made up. I'm going to sell the MP Shermans, these made-to-order boots. They are such a good-looking boot, and they are, again, they just have that wicked cool PNW heritage vibe with that sole. So I hope I'm not making a mistake. You guys tell me. Y'all be blessed.